Shalom, Israel. It's that time again. The ISUPK, under Commanding General Yahana, presents the Lord's 57th Annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 57th Annual Passover, April 4th, 2026, in Houston, Texas. All Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans are commanded to observe the Lord's Passover. This will be the biggest Passover to date. You do not want to miss this. Fresh lamb, fresh wine, and bitter herbs as commanded by the Most High. Only $200 per person ages 17 and up. The biggest event of the year. There is only one Passover, and it's under Commanding General Yahana. See you there, Israel. Shalom.
Nobody else there to compare to. Train for war, men of war, and war like apparel. Prefer our leaders, can't get between us. Watch where you stepping.
But I'm well connected. Walk in the room is pop, 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 like you got rejected. Let me see if you qualify or not. Spinning up in a tinted truck, riding around your block. Busy man. I get a word, he ain't this shit from top to bottom like a motherfucking ceiling fan. Hopping out the rental van, on my way to LAX. Brothers out in Cali and they killers out of every set. But I ain't crippin' on no blood. One West, all my niggas got it out the mud. Put your face on a t-shirt, memory of niggas acting tough in them songs, that's the drugs. I don't need no cases, all my pistols clean. So now I weigh my options. Used to use the triple beam. Used to get the wop, mix it with the nicotine. Now I travel state to state and put on for my team.
The fuck wrong with them? Ain't on my level, I should let my dog get them. I see niggas and they feelings all feel them. Keep the Glockin' with me, it was like a ball with it. At the end, I gotta stay patient. They hate me, Lord, I gotta stay patient. You one of them? Yeah. What's the problem? I'm one West, go to war with everybody. Cut the grass for the snake, fuck the gossip. Front line with them soldiers, that's my posture. Gun drawn, trying to curse the imposter. Shit get out the pocket, go to war with everybody, yeah. Shit that hate, make it to the featherweights. Niggas claim they hard, but they sweeter than a dedication. Hold on, think it's time to introduce. I'm a man and a beast and a step and a road. Hold on, and a G and a soldier and a mover. Hold on, and a killer and a prophet and a shooter, nigga. Try to stay humble, my shit crazy. Cold leader, need the blue stripes, no brick baby. Can't be serious, you a funny boy, young fly. Look wrong, must be a dummy, I ain't gunshot. Fuck that little bitch, she a hook. Nigga swear he the go, bring him to the bush, The fuck wrong with him? Ain't on my level, I should let my dog get him. Niggas in their feelings, I don't feel them. Kid the Glocky with me, it was like a ball with him. At the end, gotta stay patient. They hate me, Lord, I gotta stay patient. You one of them? What's the problem? One West, go to war with everybody.
I'm from Philly, it get hot, you catch a cold case. I'm one West, these brothers trying to set my soul straight. They done turned me to a prophet from a demon, and I'm locked in this shit and I ain't leaving. Ski mask transform to war mode like I'm Voltron. Stamp on my head and my chest from the most high. Put something tight around your neck like a bow tie. Got my niggas waiting charged up like they phone died.
Red letter, drip clean, it looks so fly. Claim he riding, that's why I left his ass roadside. He gon' die, skyscraper to a nosedive. 9mm plus B, fuck a 4-5. The fuck wrong with him? Ain't on my level, I should let my dog get him. I see niggas and they feelings all feel them. Keep the Glocky with me, it was like a ball with it. At the end, I gotta stay patient. They hate me, Lord, I gotta stay patient. You one of them? Yeah. What's the problem? I'm one West, go to war with everybody.
I seen heaven turn to hell, I gotta stay alive. Lord have mercy on my soul, stand by my side. I killed the old man and I watched him die. Lost a couple niggas, guess he wasn't my round. Hey, play my niggas, lay you down, they all down the ride. Keep my gun in my arm, I gotta stay alive. I gotta stay alive. Keep my gun in my arm, I gotta stay alive. Tell me we don't live in hell. My brother doing 55 in that cell. Nigga claiming he your round here spit shell. Same nigga you put on to hit the stand and tell. How the fuck you turn your back on a nigga that love you? Treat your kids like my kids, treat you like a brother. I told my dog, let's leave the streets to serve the most high. He said, fuck that shit, he trying to sell another pie. His daddy killed him, put him in the trunk, set him on fire. His wife was pregnant, he ain't never get to see his child. Had me thinking to myself, what happened if I die? Look my babies in the eyes, I gotta stay alive. I put my ego on the shelf and my pride to the side. I'm with some niggas who gon' step and got God on their side. Got in the ISUPK, they keep asking me why. As I do the work of the Lord, I gotta stay alive. Face the east, pray alive. I seen heaven turn to hell, I gotta stay alive. Lord have mercy on my soul, stand by my side. I killed the old man and I watched him die. Lost a couple niggas, guess he wasn't my round. They play my niggas, lay you down, they all down the ride. Keep my gun in my arm, I gotta stay alive. I gotta stay alive. Keep my gun in my arm, I gotta stay alive.
You ever pump a pack with a snake by your side? Yes, I see did. A man reach out to God before he died? Yes, I did. I know the Lord forgive us for these sins, but I'm starting to think the kingdom of heaven is for these kids. I told my daughter, there's one man in your bed, I won't stand for left. For my son, I hit your head on that fragile legs. I lost some niggas to that dope, I lost niggas to the feds. Remember Jono tried to stick me for that cheese on that bread, yeah, I was thuggin' with Lucky and that nigga left me for dead. Been doing to the end cause I listened to what was said. Mother told me she loved me when she was sick up in the bed. I was running them streets but the truth made me a man. Shit I don't really speak cause she'll never understand. That's why I ain't even tell her about these voices in my head. I'm still trying to manage my anger like Uncle Craig.
I seen heaven turn to hell, I gotta stay alive. Lord have mercy on my soul, stand by my side. I killed the old man and I watched him die. Lost a couple niggas, guess he wasn't my round. They play my niggas, lay you down, they all down the ride. Keep my gun in my arm, I gotta stay alive. I gotta stay alive. Keep my gun in my arm, I gotta stay alive.
Fuck about what them bitches gotta say. I'm a woman with a nigga till they put me in the grave. I don't give a love fuck about what them niggas gotta say. I'm a woman with a nigga till they put me in the grave. I don't care about what they say. Hey. Fuck with my Akima, fuck with my sister, then I got a problem, I'm never gonna miss you. I got 100 hanging out the AR, I got a 50 hanging out the pistol. He say it's corner, I'm just being realistic. I be on them corner posted with the realest. If it's the Sabbath, then we going fishing. I'm reeling them in, that's a God-given mission. I'm really on 10, but I'm stamped in the pistol. I get the order, be glad at this mission. Hebrew Academy graduate, nigga. Training, put through the baddest conditions. I'm fuck with none but the baddest of bitches. She righteous, submissive, she glad to be with me. Had that thing Putin like Batman, nigga. She know I'm a prophet, she got to be listening. Disrespect, I ain't having that shit till I go make some business from scratch. She bitchin' the different breed of black men. We don't do the back bend. I remember back when I was really trapping, trying to get the racks in, selling dope to black men. But now I'm trying to make it straight. Like, don't forget about my face. We standing up straight, can't fold us. Too heavy, the world won't hold us. Go get you some rank, I told you. Line up in these ranks, we sold you. You can take that to the bank, we focus on how many times must we remind you. One body, one way, some break. I will never take up as a place. When the Lord with your anal up next. It's just us, nigga, that's that on that. All that weak shit, that ain't no threat. Say you won't beat, bitch, with that ain't no sweat. We with all that. We with all that. The Lord called a nigga out the world. I responded and called back. Oh, Lord. And everything that they stole from us, fuck the shit, we want all that. Them niggas snitching and they act like bitches. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They killing women and they fuck with sisters. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They telling lies, switching up the doctrine. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They ain't gon' ride until they die, so that's why we unaffiliated with them. Come under command and general, your honor, we unaffiliated with them. Like they tongue and they say they keep that shit 100, we unaffiliated with them. They telling lies, switching up the doctrine. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They ain't gon' ride until they die, so that's why we unaffiliated with them. We unaffiliated with them. I cannot fuck around with fake niggas. We taking ground when we in your city. You better have the women, have the liquor. Keep that bitch on me, please don't but the same. Don't be a fool and be another victim. Say you a goon, you just another Christian. How you my brother, you ain't in the with me. We in the gutter, deep down in the trenches. We with them niggas locked up in the prison. Fucking Hispanic, Native American, Indian. We ain't just talking shit, but we living in it. We be everywhere, you can't miss it. And we be fresh as hell, take a picture. And we special with the scriptures. Play, we gon' scratch them, yeah, we some killers. These niggas tripping, they mind blown. Swear it, forgive me if I'm wrong. I don't get it pause when niggas say that they be looking for niggas to slide on the slide that I know about this when I assemble the gun with the slide for real. I get the order, you know that it's long. See me and my niggas gon' die for real. The bigger the better for kingdom of heaven. You niggas get wet up by me cause I'm fed up. I rep UPK. My niggas won't let up. Got choppers, got nines, AKs, Berettas. You say you don't like me, you say you won't fight with me and my nigga like bitch or whatever. You say you don't like me, you say you won't fight with me and my nigga like them niggas snitching and they act like bitches. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They killing women and they fuck with sisters. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They telling lies, switching up the doctrine. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They ain't gon' ride until they die, so that's why we unaffiliated with them. Come under command and general, your honor, we unaffiliated with them. Like they tongue and they say they keep that shit 100, we unaffiliated with them. They telling lies, switching up the doctrine. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They ain't gon' ride until they die, so that's why we unaffiliated with them. Yeah. See, they always ask us like, why y'all fuck with such and such? Why y'all won't come together with such and such? I be like, we unaffiliated with them. You understand me? Like, niggas be out here on some weirdo shit. And to be honest, that's why we unaffiliated with them. Hey, that's why we unaffiliated with them. Yeah. Oh.
Shalom, Israel. This is the ISUPK. Under Commanding General Hunter started out at 1 West 125th Street in Harlem, New York, since 1969. This is the ISUPK Wednesday night law class, and I am priest and officer Zabak Yasser. Here in the ISUPK under Commanding General Hunter, we are not affiliated with no other Hebrew Israelite group that is on the face of this earth. We are not affiliated with Islam. We're not affiliated with Judaism, Jehovah's Witness, Seventh-day Adventists, especially Christianity. You know, we are the ISUPK under Commanding General Hunter. We are the home of the truth. And since 1969, we've been teaching our people, God's chosen people, the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, that you are the real, true biblical Jews according to God, that you are God's chosen people, that the Bible, the 1611 King James, and the Apocrypha is your book, is your history book, is your constitution. This is our book. This is our heritage, our lineage. My topic for tonight is, topic that I'm gonna get into and talk a little bit about. You know, it's talking about how Santa equals Satan, and how the X in the so-called word that they put together to describe Christmas, you know, really it's almost like an abbreviation. But the X is unknown. The X is unknown. You know, a lot of people really don't pay attention because if you look at, let me give you some clarity about the X. When you look at when Malcolm X was talking about how like when he came into Islam, this and that and the third, and he was on his pilgrimage and he was doing this, he was doing that, you know, each and every day he was learning something new. So he knew that his last name was that of a slave name. So he really didn't know his last name. So that's why he took on the word X. And X means, you know, you can look this up. X means unknown. X means unknown. So that's why when you see during this time of the year, when you see X slash MAF, you know, it stands for Christmas. But the X is unknown because the reason for that, you have to pay attention. The reason for that, you have to do research. With the X being unknown, a lot of people don't really know what Christmas is. A lot of people don't. And before I really get started, hey, I want to shalom Lord of Christ to everybody that tuned into the class. You know, hit the like button, share, subscribe. And I thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for tuning in. If you have any questions, you know, you can put them in the chat. If you have a comment, you can put it in the chat. You know, here in the ISUPK, all answers, Salaki, all questions get answered. All questions get answered. But this time of the year is like one of the worst times of the year. You know, people go about celebrating Christmas. You know, they'll tell you that this is the season to be jolly. You know, they had this kissing under a mistletoe. Really don't know the history, but and a lot of people really don't know the history behind the mistletoe. But the mistletoe, man, I used to have a whole lot of history on the things that went along with this time of the year. But the mistletoe, I really want to say that the mistletoe is really grown really heavily up on the doodle, you know, not really trying to be funny, not like that, but you know, it really is. Like the Yule log, it has a history behind it. The little wreath that they put on the door is history behind that. But America has adopted this pagan holiday and has implemented it in Christianity. And all that was done for a reason, you know, to gain the masses of the people. Just like any other man-made holiday. They took it and intertwined it with Christianity. But at the end of the day, even though they get you to turn away from serving the Most High, it's all about money. It's all about money. You follow that rabbit hole, it's gonna end up with money. It's gonna end up with money. When you're dealing with the so-called white man, it's all about money with him. It is all about money with him. I mean, it is all about money with him. Like it's nothing good that's gonna come from dealing with the so-called white man. That's why if you deal with him, you have to deal with him on an understanding that you get you some money, save your money, and that's it. That's it. Don't partake in nothing that he has going on, nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? You can't take on his type of spirit because he has a spirit that is disgusting. He does. He has a spirit that is disgusting. And this time of the year, it's like one of the worst. It is like one of the worst because you got people going on, you got people traveling, you got people doing this, you got people doing the most. People doing the most. That's why it is a must that we go. You have to do Zephaniah 2:1. You have to go and gather that old nation that is not desired. That's why you have to look at and have a level of respect for General Yohana, along with the rest of the generals for what they have stood for and what they still standing for. Because as God's chosen people, if here in the ISUPK, if we don't go and gather our peoples, man, our people's gonna run amok, man. Our peoples is going to run amok. That's like our peoples will be like this right here. Turn the lights on and there's some roaches gonna scatter. So that's our people without the right direction, without the right knowledge, without the right wisdom. You're gonna go here, you're gonna go there, you're gonna cling on to stuff, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that. You're gonna cling on to stuff that you think is right, that feels good. Celebrating Christmas, it's no way that you could go all year and you done took care of your kids, you done provided for them, sick or paying bills, feeding them, clothing them, and then one day out of the 365, your child gonna feel some type of way and got you feeling some type of way, and then you don't want to take no credit, and you want to give credit to the so-called white man, and have your child really disrespecting you just because they didn't get something on this day. Now they talking, Salaki. Now they lightweight talking shit to you. Getting mad, throwing the gift down. I didn't want this. I told you what I wanted. And now, by you partaking in this holiday, you really not seeing the outcome of it. Now, certain parents will go to their room and cry and feel some type of way. All for what? All for what? That's not bringing your child up. Like it says in Proverbs 22:6, train a child in the way he should go. He or she, when they get old, they will not depart from that. Where's the level of respect? Where is the level of respect? Your child is disrespecting you, so now by your child disrespecting you, they're going to take that out the house. And they're going to start disrespecting other people that is of age. They're not going to, you know what I'm saying? Instead of you telling your child the truth, you want to sit back and get caught up in a holiday that's not of you. That's why when you look at Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 31, when the Most High say, envy thou not your oppressor and choose none of his ways. None. Like none of his ways. I'm talking about even down to, I haven't seen some of my peoples that try to mimic the so-called, these white people, even down to talking like them. You want to be around these people thinking that these people are this and that and the third. And the reason you do that because you want to be accepted, because you tired of going through the oppression. You tired of seeing your people being oppressed. But you won't even come back and you won't even serve the Most High. But you think going in a building on Sunday morning, the first day of the week, you think that you really serving the Most High, and you not. It's no way that you could partake in Christmas and think that you serving God. It's no way that you think that December 25th is Christ's birthday. And this is the kicker. This is the kicker. This is the kicker. You mean to tell me you never heard it being spoke in church that Christ celebrated his birthday? Not only didn't Christ celebrate his birthday, you never heard of Peter, you never heard Paul, you never heard none of the I'm exclude Judas. I'm exclude Judas. You never heard none of the 11 disciples saying that they were celebrating Christ's birthday. Even when they lied and talk about the Last Supper. The Last Supper is a lie. You mean to tell me nobody in the Bible, only one time it speaks of birthdays, and that's during the time when Joseph, his brothers had sold him into captivity, and it was, I want to say it was two bakers, and they had a dream. So they went on and long story short, they went on to celebrate their birthdays, but their birthdays resulted in being unalive. So here in the ISUPK, we do not celebrate our birthdays because we know that by you celebrating your birthday, it's like you putting yourself above the Most High. It's like you putting yourself on a pedestal. It's like you want people to worship you, and we know that celebrating your birthday is that of Satan. But once again, where in the Bible did God say for you to celebrate Christ's birthday? Set aside from your birthday. And here on earth in 2025, we have God's chosen people that will sit back and say that we turning up. We'll sit and say we turning up for our birthdays. But then we talking about we celebrating Christ's birthday. You celebrate Christ's birthday, so you got to take into play, okay, this is a birthday. If a birthday is over here, then what is Christmas? Because if a person's birthday falls on, say, the 4th of July, we know that the 4th of July is a man-made holiday. We know that this is Independence Day. Plus, you know that Independence Day does not have nothing to do with God's chosen people. So now, if you was born on the 4th of July, you know that this is Independence Day. But then you have to make it make sense, because if you say December 25th is Christ's birthday, which when you look in you want to say it's in Luke, like Christ was born 6 months after John the Baptist. And let me get it right. Because I did it, so I wrote it down. John the Baptist was born in the month of Abib, and in the month of Abib is April. So I want to say 6 months after that is like September. I don't know if it's the beginning of September, middle, or towards the end. Still yet, when you look at the makeup of when Christ was born, it was not even in the winter. It was not even in a winter month. So still yet, it goes back to this here. What is Christmas? You have to get a breakdown of Christmas. What is Christmas? So what does a tree have to do with Christ? What does a mistletoe have to do with Christ? All of this right here does not have anything to do with, like, no presents. You can't put that on the wise men. You cannot put that on the wise men. Yes, the wise men gave the Yahushua gifts. Of course they did. When the wise man saw Yahushua, he was at the age of 2. He was about 2 years old. They did not see Yahushua on the day that he was born. So gifts being implemented in a such thing as Christmas does not have nothing to do with Christ. It does not have nothing to do with Christ. December 25th is not Christ's birthday. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go, before I start going into the scriptures, I'm gonna read, and then too, when you look at Saint Nick was really a so-called black man. And this was doing like I want to say during like the medieval times. And Saint Nick was he was a black man that was giving out. He used to help poor black people by giving them gifts, helping them, like with bills and things of that nature. And so-called white man is a culture vulture. He done stole everything. The white man would steal everything. Everything. He want everybody's identity except his. He would not own up to being the caveman. And the word Caucasian is cave dwellers. He would not own up to that. He would not. He want to be everything but that. He want to be everything but the Neanderthal man. He want to be everything but the caveman. And it's crazy how we will look on the so-called white man, and for those that are not, for our peoples that are not in the ISUPK and the Commander General Yohana, you do that because you want to be accepted. You don't want to go through what you seeing being done to our peoples. So now, on certain jobs that you have, your certain lifestyles, you will go and blend in with these so-called white people just to be accepted, just so that you will not be looked at as a nigga. But at the end of the day, no matter how much you hang out with them, no matter how much you laugh and joke with them, no matter how much you talk like them, no matter how much you mimic them, they still look at you as a nigga, no matter what. They're not going to accept you. They're not going to, yeah, they'll hang out with you. Yeah, they'll do this. Yeah, they'll do that. But let them get a little intoxicated. Let them really get, without being intoxicated, let them get mad at you. You being called a nigga. You was being called, you gonna get called the N-word. They're not gonna look at you any different. They're not gonna look at you any different. Man, God shows the people, we just want to be accepted by these people, and it's just crazy. But I'm gonna read a little bit about Nimrod. And I'm gonna touch bases with that. A lot of people don't know that Nimrod was born on December 25th. But the so-called white man, he would celebrate everybody. He would celebrate all his man-made holidays and don't pay no homage to the Most High. None. Let me see if I can bring this up, man. My phone, I got like the slowest phone that is known to man. Like for real. Here we go. It's coming up. Now, bear with me, Israel. My phone's slower than the Obama phone. This crazy. I'm reading, I'm going to read something. I'm going to read a little short story talking about Nimrod. All right, I got it. Nimrod, it talks about Nimrod. Nimrod was the one that built the Tower of Babel. A lot of people don't understand that, Nimrod was looked upon like he tried to portray himself as being a god until the Most High had to really show him who he was and who he is. All right, it's a Nimrod, the Lord of Christmas. Nimrod married his own mother, whose name was Semiramis. After Nimrod's death, his so-called wife, Semiramis, propagated the evil doctrine of the survival of Nimrod as a spirit being. She claimed a full-grown evergreen tree sprang overnight from a dead tree slump, which symbolized the springing forth unto new life of the dead Nimrod. So now you get to see where the tree comes from. Now you get to see where the tree comes from, this so-called Christmas tree. On each anniversary of his birth, she claimed Nimrod would visit the evergreen tree and leave gifts upon it. Okay, once again, you got the tree. You seeing where these gifts come from. Because like I said, when you go back and look in Luke, and it talks about how the wise men came and brought gifts to Christ. When they came upon Christ, Christ was almost like 2 years old because Herod had put a decree out because he knew about Christ. He knew about the birth of Christ, just like the wise men knew. And at this time, Herod, so-called white boy, he put a decree out to kill all the babies that was 2 and under. But the wise men went and visited Herod. So, and they told Herod that they was going to see Christ, that they was going to see Christ. So upon them talking to Herod, Herod told them, say, when y'all do go see Christ, send back word so that I may come and visit him, that I may also give him gifts. But, you know, we as so-called black people, man, we know how white people are deceptive. We know how they do, but they never sent word. They never sent word, and you know they came and gave him his gifts, and you know talked with his mother, and you know things of that nature, and went on about their way. But this is a thing. This is a thing how the so-called white man, when he give you the manger scene, he have like the wise men there with gifts, this and that and the third. But listen, this is one thing you have to remember. They knew of Christ coming, but you got to look at how they was traveling back then. They was traveling by camels. So it's not like today. Like, say if I got a brother and I'm here in Nashville, my brother's out in Cali. So we know the 9-month period. And so my brother said, yo, listen, man, my wife due date is such and such. In these days and times, I could make it on that day. I could, but I can make it on that day. The only way I could make it on that day and be present at the actual birth, I would have to go there like a day before, or I would have to arrive like early that morning. But our means of transportation is way more advanced than back then. They was traveling by camel. So it's no way that they knew that Christ was going to be born on this day and be there on that day as well. Like it wasn't, it didn't go down like that. But let me get back into this. So let me see where I'm at. All right. So December 25th was the birthday of Nimrod. December 25th is the birthday of Nimrod. So tomorrow is Nimrod's birthday. I'm going to say it again. Tomorrow is Nimrod's birthday. You would not, hey, Nimrod's birthday is tomorrow. Not Christ, y'all. Not Christ. I mean, somebody got to tell somebody something, man. You know, we got phones today. Like, your phone is a walking laptop or a computer, however you want to look at it. Like, you could do the research. December 25th is Nimrod's birthday. So tomorrow is Nimrod's birthday. Okay. This is the real origin of the Christmas tree. Traditionally, a Yule log was burned in the fireplace on Christmas Eve, and during the night, as the log's embers died, there appeared in the room, as if by magic, a Christmas tree surrounded by gifts. The Yule log represented the sun god Nimrod, and the Christmas tree represented himself resurrected as his own son, Tammuz. Christmas is a pagan holiday, traces back thousands of years before to a man named Nimrod, founder of ancient Babylon. Now you have a little history of what Christmas is, the tree, what the Yule log represents. Listen, Christmas does not have nothing to do with Yahushua, who the world ignorantly calls Christ. Christmas does not have nothing to do with Yahushua. That's just like, look at this right here. When you look at Yahushua resurrection, the egg and a bunny rabbit and the word Easter does not, the three does not have nothing in correlation. Easter, a bunny rabbit, and an egg. Those three does not have nothing in common, set aside from Christ's resurrection. But all of this is man-made. That's why, listen, man, I don't get why you would even allow your child to go talk about they hunting eggs. Hunting eggs for what? Hunting eggs for what? Nobody in Christianity has never spoke up and even asked that question. Nobody has never even spoke and said, and this is my thing, stop putting it on them kids. Because now you lying to the kids. Then when you bring out that people be lying to the kids, then they want to go to Big Mama. You think Big Mama was above not being lied to? Big Mama was lied to. Let's start with mine. Grandmother passed away thinking that Christ was a white boy. Thinking that Christ was a white boy. So can't nobody tell me that somebody Big Mama is more advanced than the other Big Mamas. Can't. And now you got these young Big Mamas, you got these Big Mamas now, boy, in their 30s, early 30s. So you did this shit. And they in the club. And I have to say it like this because this how it is. Especially when you have a sister that got pregnant when she was around by like 14, 15. So guess what? Her and her child grew up together. And who's to say, okay, she get pregnant at 14, bam. Now she pregnant again at 15. So her two kids, she done grew up with them. Say boy, girl, however you want to put it. But guess what? She done grew up with them, and at some point in time, you will have a sister say this right here. Man, I done got them out the way. I'm getting ready to go back to the way I left off from. I got to get my life back. And they'll say this here and end up in the club. End up in the club. You look across one of her kids on one side and the mom on the other side. So now when it's her turn to be a grandmother, she's still in the club. I done seen it. I done seen it like 1,000 times over. I have done seen it. So it's nobody can sit back and tell me that you want to put it on Big Mama. Big Mama was lied to, man. Big Mama was lied to. Because if Big Mama wasn't lied to, it's real simple. If Big Mama wasn't lied to, Big Mama would never partake in the celebrating of these man-made holidays. Big Mama would sit back and tell you the truth. She would tell you the truth. We not gonna celebrate these holidays. Big Mama would tell you that. Big Mama not gonna, oh, this and that and the third. Big Mama tell you. I'm gonna give you some more of this, I'm gonna give you some more of this. But that's why it was real easy for the so-called white man when he got the black man out the house. It was real easy. Because by him removing the black man out the house, there was no dominance there. So now the so-called white man, which we say that is the devil that the Bible speaks of, because the word devil means deceiver. He's a liar, and he's been a liar from the beginning. So by him moving the strong man out the house, guess what? He came with his own instructions. This devil came with his own way of maneuvering. Let me manipulate, let me manipulate her and her way of doing things. And by me manipulating her, what I put in her head, she gonna pass it down to the kids. She gonna pass it down to the kids. All right, it says December 25th was highly honored and recognized by Nimrod supporters. And they still support Nimrod to this day. Christmas has been going on, listen, as far as I can remember, as long as I've been alive. I'm gonna say this here. As long as I've been on this earth and heard about Christmas, I never heard Christmas not being celebrated. I never heard this right here. Oh, we ain't doing Christmas this year. You might hear that in people, you might hear that in God's chosen people that say that we ain't doing Christmas this year. But as far as the wicked that is running this earth, they kept Christmas going because they knew by them keeping Christmas going, they knew that it was money for them. That's what it all boils down to. Each and every man-made holiday that they have kept running throughout history, they have generated $3 billion each and every holiday. Even down to the little simple ones is this here. Mother's Day, Father's Day. So you can imagine Thanksgiving and Christmas, they do numbers. I'm talking about they do numbers. You got to take into play the Christmas tree, even the light company in on, or the lights. You got to think about people that are set up these tents and go cut these trees down. They in on the hustle. Even down to the companies that make eggnog. You got to think about that. They in on the hustle. Man, I can't even think of some things, but you got to think about the people that get in. Yeah, what's up? Yeah, come on in. Come on in. You right. You right. The cars, the ornaments, all of that is a cold hustle. And yeah. They bring out, man, stuff that they don't even sell. They just keep it, you know what I'm saying? They'll put it away and, hey, listen, we're going to bring it out again this year. We're going to bring it out again this year. And they keep it full going. All right, it says that the true origin of Christmas and other holidays. Who was really born on December 25th? This right here talks about all right. This right here talks about like some books and all that. It says that Lent, Easter, and Christmas are of Babylonian origin. They say Easter and Christmas paganism. It goes back like 2000 BC to date. And it's a book by like Edward Stevenson. They say December 25th was celebrated as Nimrod's birthday. Generally, all mankind is fast asleep, dreaming this old Babylon dream. Okay. And it's a book. It say the story of Nimrod as it relates to Christmas and Easter. And it's by Wilhelm J. Wolfart. Okay, it say, but December 25th can be traced back to Genesis and a man named Nimrod. Nimrod was the founder and a great false religious system that began in ancient Babylon that has always opposed the truth of the Most High God. It's time we face facts. This world is deceived. It say just as God prophesied. Yeah, because when you look at like Revelation 12 and 9, it say, but Satan is the power behind this deception, which he is. Satan is the power behind this deception. Um, They say Satan has successfully pawned off the old customs of the Babylon mystery religion as being pleasing. Yes, he has. But I had man, I think I had a little more. I was talking about Saint Nick. A lot of people don't realize that Saint Nick, the real Saint Nick, was so-called black man. I'm not gonna read a lot of this. I might not even go into it. All right. It's a Santa Claus. How a bearded black bishop born in Turkey became America's favorite white saint. Man, I want to show this picture, y'all. Let me see, man. This right here is a picture. This right here is a picture of the real Saint Nick. This is the picture of the real Saint Nick. This is who the so-called white man, the devil that the Bible speaks of, how he uh stole and lied. Even down to when they changed the picture of Christ. Oh man, I wanna all right, I'm gonna read a little bit of it. It said his beard and reputation are world famous. Miracles ascribed to him are legendary. Youngsters pondered his whereabouts and travel agenda, especially in December, knowing he's not afraid. Okay, all right. Knowing he's afraid to fly and he's never run out of money. Born to wealthy parents of Patara, Turkey, when the population of Anatolia was mostly pagan. It said he took a special interest in three sisters, too poor to have dowries. They were being forced into prostitution when suddenly 3 bags of gold were thrown down their chimneys, enough bait to attract husbands. The trio did not leave thank you notes behind for the record, but anyone with a bulging sight of benevolence is bound to be popular. Faith and hope. St. Paul wrote to the Corinthians, or outweigh. The greatest of these is charity, love. For others is what always drove him. This Turk named Nicholas, which means people's victory, devoted to good works, St. Nicholas was once bishop of Mara, a town now called Demir, Anatolia, a temporary Salaki. The territory of modern Turkey has been the heartland of human civilization since 7000 BC. Patara, to the west of Demir, Demri, Salaki, had been visited by St. Paul and St. Luke in 55 AD, and on their way from Metellus to Jerusalem, perhaps from this early date, a Christian community was established at this major Roman Lycian port. Demri, a vital port on a dangerous part of the Turkish coastline, became part of the pilgrimage route from Venice and Constantinople to the Holy Land, Palestine. This helped spread the cult of the saint, especially for seafarers who once worshipped the pagan god Poseidon. Uh, what it all boils down to, I ain't really gonna get off all into that. Listen, Saint Nick was a black man. Saint Nick was a black man, and he believed in helping his peoples. He didn't go around helping everybody. He believed in helping his peoples. And it's crazy how so-called white man took that and ran with it. It's no different than what he did with Christ. Had Michelangelo to paint Caesar Borgia and portrayed him to be in Christ. And when you have power and you're not a person of righteousness, like you're gonna do things that is more so pleasing to you. You're gonna do things that you will have people to look at you like you is something more than what you are. When the so-called white man came into power, he did not have the Most High in mind. He portrayed himself to be more than the Most High. He portrayed himself to be, like he's a God. But the Most High gonna bring him to nothing. The Most High is going to crumble him. The Most High is going to destroy him and his whole nation. Because he has went through this whole earth and did what he wanted to do. Not giving no type of thanks to the Most High. None. Not giving none to the Most High. And all these man-made holidays, he has added on from the time he started making these holidays, he has added on. They got a holiday now, like National Daughter Day. I want to say about the last one I really heard of that was added on was like National Secretary Day. They got a holiday where you recognize your kids, like, huh? Like, nah, it shouldn't take you to recognize your kids, this and that and the third, but we, as God's chosen people, we have to come out of serving this world. We have to leave this world behind. We have to leave this world behind. We have to come back. Like, hey, it's high time now. World War III right around the corner. And y'all still talking about y'all doing these holidays, this and that and the third. Y'all ain't even got things stored up for yourself. Y'all don't even know what is in store, what is up and coming. And that is due to our black leaders. That is due to these black pastors, these bishops, these reverends, these deacons, our black politicians. They are not telling nobody nothing. They're not telling nobody nothing. Our black leaders had to let us astray for so many years, man, till, like, come on, man. Like, y'all just too selfish. Like, y'all don't want to tell nobody the truth. Y'all don't want to, come on, man. I don't even know how you live with yourself. There's no way that I could know something and be around a brother or be around a sister and not enlighten them. There's no way. I can't. I can't. I can't. Anybody that know me, they know I'm not gonna do that with them, man. If I know something, man, I'm enlightening you. Whether you receive it or not, that's on you. But I'm not gonna make you, you know what I'm saying? Like, I only can say, yo, hey, look, brother, hey, look, sis, such and such. But I just can't stand by and watch my peoples come to ruin. I just can't stand by and let somebody go through something and I know how to get in some insight on what's going on. I can't do that. I can't. I wouldn't do that. I couldn't even sleep at night. But I'm gonna jump off into some of these scriptures though, that's dealing with my topic. And the first one I'm gonna go to John chapter 8 and verse 32. It says that and ye shall know the truth, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. You need to know that Christmas is a lie. You need to know that every man-made holiday is a lie. Not just Christmas, every man-made holiday. And they be having them posted on these calendars. If you get a calendar like that and you're not in this truth, and you done came across one of these classes, man, you need to go there with a Sharpie and mark that out. You need to say to yourself, I need to change. I need to do something different. And for all these parents that are Israelites, and if you're not in this truth and you celebrating these, you wake up in the morning and your child throws something across the room because he didn't get what he wanted, yo, you deserve that. You deserve that. Because instead of you going out your way to educate your child and teach your child, you sitting there trying to please your child and you really ain't even doing a good job at that. Because it's going to be a lot of kids that's going to wake up and it's going to be some disrespectful moments. It's going to be some disrespectful moments. And that's something that should wake up, that should turn a light bulb on inside your head and tell you that something ain't right. That, yo, stop. Stop. Like, this ain't rocket science. Like, yo, stop feeding into your kids. Educate your kids. Tell them the truth. So now they can stop talking trash to you. So now y'all can have a better bond. Y'all look at the ISUBK like, yo, everything that the ISUBK has done said has done come to pass. Why would we lie to the people? Yo, it's so crazy that y'all go in these churches. Y'all done paid for these lies for so many years. Y'all have done paid for these lies and keep paying. And it's crazy. And nothing good come out of it. So now I'm going to go to Colossians. Colossians chapter 2 and verse 8. It say, beware. Colossians chapter 2 and verse 8. It say, beware, lest any man spoil you through philosophy. And you know, when the so-called white man give you his philosophy, he going to give you his philosophy. He's not going to tell you the thing that is of the Most High. He going to tell you something that's going to make him look good, that make him look like, you know, like he is, like, yeah, this is me. This come from me. Like, yo, I'm the smartest man that ever been on the face of this earth. Like, you know, like he knows it all, which he doesn't. Because if I tell you, that's like, I'm gonna say this. And hey, listen, Parak, I'm not picking at you when I say this. That's like me saying I can outrun Parak. You know I can't outrun Parak. I can't. But if I say I can outrun Parak and I could get people to believe that, and we never have a race. But if my wordplay is up to par and I can get people to believe it, yo, they gonna believe it. They'll believe that because they'll look at me like this. Oh yeah, he taller than Parak. Yeah, he got long legs. Yeah, he can. I know he can. I say that to say this. When you listen to the so-called white man, you have to know that he is the devil that the Bible speaks of. You have to understand and know what the word devil means. You have to know that this is a deceiver. You don't have to have a facial expression that he will look at you like, yo, did he think I'm lying? Nah, you just know not to believe him. You have to get out your head everything that you was taught in school, everything that you ever heard from these white people, and be like, yo, man, these people are liars, man. These people ain't doing nothing but lying, man. I can't believe these people. So when it comes down to their philosophy, yo, you're gonna have to fact check them. You're going to have to. Set aside from them telling you things like that, they're going to have to show it to you in writing. They're going to have to. Look at what they did with the so-called Talaki. When these devils came here and they came upon the Native American Indians, they signed a peace treaty, like 371 peace treaties. And look at what they did. Woke up the next day unalive. They can't be trusted, no matter what. It says, beware, lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit. Vain deceit, man, these ain't nothing but lies. After the tradition of men, these all these man-made holidays. All of these man-made holidays. Listen, man. Christmas don't have nothing to do with Christ. Christmas don't have nothing to do with Christ. It's not his birthday. It's nothing to do with him. The Christmas tree, the gifts, nothing. None of that has nothing to do with Christ. Stop talking about you turning up for Christ. Stop talking about you celebrating his birthday. None of that. None of that. After the rudiments of the world. After the rudiments of this world. And not after Christ. So you're doing the thing that is of this world. You're doing something worldly. You ain't doing nothing according to God. You ain't doing nothing according to Christ. You're doing the thing that is of this world. I'm gonna give you another precept. Go to Matthew 15:9. It's Matthew chapter 15 and verse 9. But in vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines, the commandments of men. They teaching you their doctrine. They teaching you what they want you to know. They teaching you their lies. That's what it is. Hey, Israel, Salaki for a second. Like Israel, I'm back. Matthew chapter 15 and verse 9. It say, but in vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. So these man-made holidays has been taught by men, has been passed down by men. And it takes away from you learning the truth of the Most High. It takes away from you learning the truth of the Most High. Because there's no way that you can celebrate Christmas and think that you are serving God. It's not. You can't, when you look at Matthew chapter 6, Matthew chapter 6 and verse 24, they say no man can serve two masters. You can't serve two masters. You cannot serve two masters. You cannot celebrate Christmas and think that you can call on the Most High. You can't. You cannot do Thanksgiving and think that you calling on the Most High. You cannot do no man-made holiday and think that you calling on the Most High. And all of these man-made holidays have been intertwined in Christianity. If you go in a Christian church, you would do all of these holidays. You would do all of these holidays because in Christianity, they do all of these holidays. They say, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. You won't even hear this scripture right here in Christianity. They have you thinking that you can do, like they say, come as you are. By you coming as you are, you get to do what you want to do. You get to do as you are. Like it's no restriction to that. It's no like Christianity don't get you right. Christianity don't do nothing for you. They don't do nothing for you. They will have you thinking that it's all right to partake in these man-made holidays. They have you thinking that just because you come in this building on the first day of the week, you give out some money, you do a little shout and dance, you running down the aisleway and things of that nature, like, yo, it's all right, it's cool. But it's not. That's not serving the Most High. That's not keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. Christianity goes against everything that is of the Most High. It goes against all the law, statutes, and commandments. You cannot serve two masters. You can't. You can't. Can't. So I'm gonna go to Mark. Mark chapter 7 and verse 9. And this is the Most High talking. And he said unto them, full well, ye reject the commandments of God, that ye may keep your own tradition. You reject the so-called white man and his whole nation. They reject the commandments of God, that they keep their own tradition. And they do that. Every white person that is on the face of this earth is going to celebrate Christmas. They celebrate every man-made holiday there is.
I was gonna say, I was reading something today. The UPK and other the UPK, they have enough stuff on the internet, and we have enough people where we showing people that these man-made holidays and stuff is not of God. And even when we tell our family members that this stuff is not of God, and they be knowing, they be like, well, we've been doing it for such and such years. And and like you said, our big mom and all that, they've been doing it, but you know the truth now. So you're gonna be held accountable because you know the truth. Even though you say like you were saying it's for the kids and all that, but so you rather answer to God because you trying to say it's for the kids.
That's a real retarded excuse because they'll put it on the kids, and then when a person is really inclined and in tune with these scriptures, they they'll put it on the kids. Then when you hit them with Proverbs 22:6, then they'll try to put it on Big Mom. But then when you break it down and you start like, okay, listen, let me go on and get this spirit up off of you. Not so much as even getting the spirit up off of them. When you battle that spirit that is on them, they're not gonna sit and you know want to hear what you gotta say. The white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of. He make these holidays look pleasable, make it look pleasant. When you have them been sinning for so long, like it's acceptable. It would have to take God or Christ to really be in front of you. You would have to really see them in the physical for you not to do these things. And they look at us like, especially our people, so-called Blacks and Spanish First Nation people that are not in this truth, they look at us like this right here. Oh man, here come these niggas again. That's how they look at us. That ain't no different if you have a family member and he trying to tell you right from wrong. You ain't gonna want to be around him. I mean, you can have a family member, you can have an uncle that's telling his nephew or his cousin, yo man, you know you keep smoking weed, you're gonna get cancer. Something as simple as that. He ain't even giving you the breakdown saying that your smoking weed is a sin. He just telling you the fact that by you smoking weed, you would get cancer. What they gonna do when they see him? Oh man, they go, oh man, yo, let me go. You dodging him. You dodging the truth because you love what you do. You don't want to stop doing what you do. And it shouldn't take you to get cancer for you to sit there and say, yo, I'm stopping. You didn't heed the warning. And we as God's chosen people, we don't heed the warning. We do not heed the warning. Psalms 118, Salaki. Yeah. Psalms 118:8. It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man. So this is saying that it is better. Confidence is a bigger word for trust. Same thing. Let me read it like this right here. I'm gonna take the word confidence out, but I'm gonna put trust in the place of confidence. It is better to trust in the Lord than to put trust in man. Because by you celebrating Christmas, you're gonna celebrate Christmas. You already got the tree up. There's no way that you're gonna take it down and this and that and the third. It would have to take. I don't even think if your tree caught on fire, you probably got house insurance, thing of that nature. You still gonna celebrate Christmas. You just gonna find another way. Once the fire department tells you what was the cause of the fire, you're gonna find another way to go around that, just so that you can still celebrate Christmas. But by you celebrating Christmas, by you celebrating all these man-made holidays, you putting your trust in man. You put your trust more in man than you are putting in the Most High. The Most High. So I already read to you about what the Christmas tree represents. Before Nimrod ever stepped foot on this earth, the Most High already knew about the Christmas tree. It's nobody that has more knowledge and wisdom than the Most High. It's not. You can't even make this comparison. So this is what the Most High said about the Christmas tree. Because now you should know that the Christmas tree represents Nimrod. But listen at what the Most High said about the Christmas tree. When you look at Jeremiah chapter 10 and verse 1, it said, "Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel." When you go in Christianity, if you were to read this right here, they're going to ask you, oh, this is Jeremiah, so this is in the Old Testament. Oh, yeah, we don't deal with the Old Testament. But you're still receiving tithes. So if you don't deal with the Old Testament, then why are you taking tithes in this church? Why has the church become a trap house? Why has the church become a real monopoly? Why is the church not only receiving tithes, but it's tax-free money? It's tax-free money. But this goes to show you how the so-called white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of, because you could go through an airport and you could get caught with like about $12,000 on you, and you're going to get questioned. Why do you have $12,000 on you? You got to answer for this money. But the church could take in, say, $25,000 one day, and it would be looked upon like they'll sit and say that, oh, the Lord did that. That came from the church. Like the church get a pass. But once again, you have to look at the makeup of the church, who's behind the church, who's backing the church. You mean to tell me a person could have to answer for $12,000 over here, but you don't have to answer for this money that's coming out this building? When you got all these churches all these churches. But we don't look at stuff like that. And when I say we, I'm talking about so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that are not in ISUPK. Our black politicians don't look at stuff like that. They don't really, you know what I'm saying? Y'all get in office and y'all do what a good slave would do. You will wait and receive instructions from your slave master. Only time you come out is when your slave master tells you to come out, tell you to put 1,000 signs in somebody's yard, tell you to go and say this, tell you to do this, tell you to do this certain dance, tell you to say this. That's the only time. I'm going to start over. Jeremiah chapter 10 and verse 1. It said, "Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel." Verse 2. "Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the sign of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them." The heathen, these other nations, let me say it like that. These heathen ain't nothing but these other nations. They partake in everything. They partake in everything. Anything that sounds good or feel good to them, they with it. But as far as them doing the thing that is of God, they're not going to do that. For them to do the thing that is of God is too much like right. They'd rather do what feels good to them, not keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. It say verse 3. They say, "For the customs of the people are vain." The customs of the people are useless. "For one cutteth a tree, no other forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe." They done upgraded. They got chainsaws now. Now they can get multiple trees. With that chainsaw, set aside from the chainsaw, man, they got machines. They got machines that will cut these trees and stack them up. And then they got another machine that are going to come and scoop them up. Load them on trucks, this, that, and the third. And then they'll go back They'll go back and plant other trees. They'll go back and plant other trees, and they'll just have a spot to where they they just cut so many Christmas trees a year. They'll cut so many Christmas trees a year. It's it's really like a money thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I put up so many buildings. It's really monopoly. I put up so many buildings. You know what I'm saying? I build it. They gonna come. I put a certain price on it. Okay, this is my price. You gonna live here. You gonna come. Even if I lower the prices, I got so many buildings. Even if I lower the price, I'm still getting money. With that being said, no matter how many Christmas trees you have, you can lower the price. You still gonna sell the tree. I don't care if you sell the tree for $5. You have them up the price for people that have them came through the first time. So now when people keep coming through, you lowering the price. You're just trying to get rid of the trees. And by you getting rid of the trees, you already have a plan implemented. For the trees that I have them cut, I'm replacing that. Verse 4, they deck it with silver and with gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not. If this here don't sound like a Christmas tree, this sound like a Christmas tree, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, you got the silver and gold. You know, you got the little silver tassels that you throw on it, look like little, supposed to be represent like little icicles. You got a gold store, you got gold ornaments. You can throw gold lights on it. You know, people decorate their trees how they want to decorate. But still yet, at the end of the day, this is talking about a Christmas tree. So you mean to tell me that man no more than the Most High? Ain't no way. Ain't no way. When the Most High giving you sound instructions, especially he is talking to the house of Israel. He is talking to Israelites, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. But for all of y'all that are not in the ISUPK under Commander General Yohana, this is what y'all do. This is what y'all do that are living a worldly life. And a lot of people don't know that God hates Christmas. Not only Christmas, man, he hates all these man-made holidays. But I'm gonna show you that the Most High hates this holiday. When you look at Amos chapter 5 and verse 21, it said, I despise your feast day. Christmas is a feast day. Christmas is a day set aside from the giving of gifts, set aside from the Christmas tree, set aside from you standing under the mistletoe kissing, set aside from the Yule log being burnt, set aside from the wreath being placed on the door, set aside from all the lights, set aside from all of that. You will sit down and have a feast. I don't care if you cook the food, if you order the food. You will sit down and have a feast. I don't care if you don't cook. You still going to somebody else's house to eat. You still going to somebody else's house to eat. The Most High said, I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. The Most High don't care nothing about this. Nowhere in the Bible will you find that the Most High said, celebrate holidays. The Most High only gave us high holy days. He never said nothing about these man-made holidays. And to show you that, I'm going to show you that Christ never partook in, because Christ took orders from the Most High. Christ never came and celebrated his birthday. He never did. He knew better. Nowhere in the Bible that you will see that Christ ever celebrated his birthday. never mentioned his birthday, never talked about his birthday. You won't even hear from none of the prophets that are in the Bible talking about birthdays. So I don't understand how people will go from talking about, Christmas is God's birthday. That don't even make no sense. That don't even make no sense. That's like me saying the Hudson River is my birthday. How can you sit and fix your mouth and say Christmas is Christmas is Christ's birthday? Like it don't make sense. It doesn't. It doesn't make sense to me. But I'm gonna show you that. I'm gonna show you some high holy days that Christ celebrated. All right, Rich. Go ahead.
Okay, so and people don't seem to think, okay, they celebrate Christ's birthday December 25th. And they like, well, don't nobody really know when Christ's birthday is and all this and all that. But the people that do celebrate birthdays, if your mama celebrates your birthday in January and your birthday in November, won't you be mad? Won't you be like, why you celebrating my birthday this day? That ain't even a man's birthday and y'all celebrating it, talking about this is his birthday. You won't even celebrate, if you celebrate your birthday, you won't even celebrate it on that particular day. So why don't y'all just do away with it? And plus, like you just said, it's nowhere in the Bible where Christ celebrated his birthday.
Yeah, it's nowhere, but what you're saying is accurate. Christ's birthday is in the Bible. It's just not it's not highlighted. It's not in capital letters. It's not none of that. You know, it's like 6 months after John the Baptist. But it gives you an illustration that it is not in the wintertime. Because when it talks about Christ being born in Bethlehem, it tells you that the shepherds was out in the field by night. So the shepherds wasn't out there. If they was in the field all night, they wasn't out there in the cold. The shepherds didn't have no bubble down gooses. They didn't have no sheepskins. They didn't have no Shermans. You out in the field all night. You're not gonna be in no field all night in the winter.
Ain't gonna be in the field in the winter because there ain't nothing that'll pick. Or ain't nothing that'll, ain't no food or nothing for them to be in the field picking.
No, it wasn't them picking. They watching over the sheep. They was watching over the sheep. So by them watching over the sheep, they keeping the sheep from being unalive by like foxes, wolves, stuff like that, like other animals. But you have to think about this here. Even in today's time, you don't know nobody that's gonna be outside all night unless you like homeless or you. Even homeless people have like they go to certain places and get coats, get blankets. You know what I'm saying? They seek shelter. They seek shelter. Even homeless people have sense enough, and I'm not putting down the shepherds or nothing like that. This is my thing. They want to sit and say, like December is one of like the coldest months of the season. Just as well as you look at January, February. Them 3 months, December, January, February, like them is like one of the 3 coldest months of that winter season. So how is it that shepherds are out all night? They ain't had no coats back then. They didn't. They didn't have, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not putting nobody down, but you have to know how to read. You have to understand what you're reading and get a full breakdown. You have to. Like they make it seem like
So in the wintertime, what do they do with them?
What do they do with who?
the sheep.
They put them up. But during this time, when it talks about how the shepherd was out in the field by night, this lets you know that it was warm weather. That's the point. It lets you know that it was warm weather. They wasn't no. Because if it's warm weather, then that's how you got two homeboys hanging out. In the summertime, people hang out longer in the summer. Let me say it like this. You have people hang out longer in warmer weather than they do in winter weather. That makes sense to you? Because even if, say like if you was going out with your homegirls and it's a nice night out, and one of your homegirls be like, yo, man, I'm getting girl, come on. What's up? When the last time we hung out? When the last time we did this? You know what I'm saying? Y'all hanging out. Because it's nice out. It's warm out. So by them shepherds being out like all night like that, I'm saying they sitting there politicking. They probably was talking about, how they was growing up and this and that and the third, this and that and the third. But when it's cold, nah. Yeah, you might hang out with your homegirl when it's cold, but y'all inside a building. Guess what? When y'all come out that building, y'all hug. Girl, I'm gonna call me. Yeah, yeah, y'all out. But when it's warm, man, y'all out. When I say y'all out, y'all toes out too. Y'all got sandals on and all that. Y'all stepping out. You got your hair out, all that. Like, But it's people just get it misconstrued. People just get misconstrued. But we have to listen to the traditions of men instead of listening to the Most High. But by us listening to the traditions of men, you have to look at the makeup of the people that are teaching us. You got to look at your black leaders, your pastors, reverends, bishops, deacons, politicians. So now when you look at John chapter 10, and I'm gonna start at verse 22. And it was at Jerusalem, the Feast of Dedication, which is a Hanukkah. And it was winter. Now this was in the wintertime. So this is something that the Most High selected. This is something that Christ celebrated. And verse 23, and Jesus walked in the temple in Solomon's porch. So this is the Feast of Dedication. This is not his birthday. This is a high holy day. This is a high holy day. So I'm going to give you a little bit more what Christ celebrated. Set aside from, they trying to pawn off that. But it has never been said in Christianity. I have never heard that in Christianity that Christ celebrated his birthday. I'm always hearing that people of this world celebrates Christ's birthday. For real. All right, when you look at Matthew chapter 26 and start at verse 17, it say, now the first day of the feast of unleavened bread, the disciples came to Yahushua, saying unto him, where wilt thou that we prepare for thee to eat the Passover? And he said, go into the city to such a man and say unto him, the master said, my time is at hand. I will keep the Passover at thy house with my disciples. So once again, the Most High was not celebrating his birthday. The Most High was not celebrating Christmas. Most High didn't celebrate none of these man-made holidays. The Most High came to do the will of the Most High. The Most High kept these high holy days. But this is what a lot of people get caught up in. When you look at 1 John 2:15, 1 John 2:15, it say, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. So you know what is in this world? What y'all are going to wake up tomorrow. And when I say y'all, especially God's chosen people, for the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians that are not in this truth, you're going to wake up to this tree. Don't you know every time that you put a present up under that tree that you have bowed down to this tree? Every time. You look at this tree and then you'll sit back and you'll step back in. Each and every year that you put this tree up, you try to make this tree more glorious than the year before. And you'll sit back and you'll say, wow, man, this tree is beautiful. And you paying homage. You is worshiping this tree. I'm willingly knowing. Then you want to put the tree on display by opening up your blinds, lifting up your blinds as the sun go down and it get darker. You got the tree in the window. You want everybody to see. You want everybody to see the lights. You want everybody to see everything that you have going on. And this is not of the Most High. The Most High say, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. I don't know how you could sit and fall a victim to this right here. Jesus is the reason for the season. Celebrate Christmas. That's something that was made up. Somebody wrote that, put that on some cardboard, put some green in the background with some red letters, and sold you this for $5 or better. And you took that and you took that and ran with it. You took that and ran with it. That's why I say during this time of the year, everybody gets their hustle on. And then with them ugly sweaters, oh my God. Them ugly sweaters, they bring, like them colors is crazy. Them colors, like them sweaters is yeah, listen, man, them sweaters is something ugly. Them sweaters is something ugly, man. For real. I mean, them sweaters is something ugly. I'm gonna share something with you. And this right here, a little sidebar. I had a partner. And my man from out, I don't know. Dang, I forgot my man's name, but I think he was from out the Bronx or something, or Harlem. You know, the little Salvation stand, the little tripod, they got the little bucket, and he stole one of them. This right here is funny, man. This my man. Like, my man named Russ, but we used to call him something else. He stole one of them. Yeah. He went and bought him a little bell. Cause they be out there with the bell, but he bought him a little Santa hat. Yo, my man was going to different stores. He was going to different stores, man. He was moving. My man said he made so much money, man. He was shocked. But this goes to show you how during this time of the year, you could come out with anything. You could come out with anything when it comes to this right here. And you could just get your hustle on, because everybody is, damn near everybody is benefiting from it. Everybody that has this little Christmas spirit on them. Everybody is selling this, selling that, selling that. And it's selling. It's selling. So now, if you haven't sold everything and you live to see another Christmas, you're going to bring back out what you didn't sell. And you're going to sell. You're going to sell. And it's crazy. But the Most High, when he said this right here in 1 John 2:15, the Most High was not talking to everybody. Because this book was not given to everybody. It was only given to God's chosen people, the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. And the Most High said, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. The love of the Father is not in him. Like I said, you cannot, and I'm saying this because this is in the Bible, Matthew chapter 6 and verse 24. You cannot serve two masters. You can't. You're gonna love the one, you're gonna hate the other. So when you wake up in the morning and you partake in opening up the gifts, you bending down, got the mistletoe, you having a feast, you doing this, you doing that, going to a little Christmas party, you talking about you turning up. You don't have no love for the Most High. You don't have no love for the Most High. Verse 16, it say, for all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh. Man, y'all gonna be touching on each other at this Christmas party. It's gonna be a whole lot of women that's gonna cheat on their husband. It's gonna be a whole lot of women that's gonna cheat on their husband. It's saying the lust of the eyes. The lust of your eyes, especially if you're a so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, and you're not in this truth, the lust of your eyes will make you into a spiritual whore. Because you are partaking in what is of these heathen nations, what has become the so-called white man. You have taken on that. When in Proverbs 3 and 31, it say, envy thou not your oppressor, choose none of his ways. But you don't hear the Most High. It would take the Most High literally to be standing in front of you to really look at you like this is. Like, and that's crazy. That's crazy. They say, and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of this world. It is of this world. It is of this world. So I showed you how Christ was celebrating high holy days. Christ never turned up for his birthday. Christ never celebrated his birthday. Matter of fact, none of these priests and prophets in the Bible celebrated their birthdays. So you celebrating your birthday, man, you get that from Satan, man. Satan has taught you to lift yourself up and to think that you is above God. To think that you is above God. You don't know what Christmas is. I gave you some insight for all those that were in class, but for my brothers that are in this truth, we already know what Christmas is. It's hard to go back and reach family members that have been partaking in it, but you just have to show them. Sometimes you really can't go at them and say, well, yo, such and such, such and such. Nah, you just have to show them. Nah, I'm not coming through this year. I'm not doing this. And you really have to sit down and talk to your kids. You really have to tell them. You really have to tell them the truth. You really have to tell them the truth. And by you telling them the truth, this is training up a child in the way he should go. He or she, when they get old, they would not depart from it. They would not depart from it. So I'm going to go into one more. 1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians chapter 10. 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 19. What say I then? What say I then? That the idol is anything, or that which is offered in sacrifice to idols is anything. This right here is talking about you partaking in idol worshiping. This is like idol worshiping is like you saying basically like the white man is, you giving credit to the white man. White man coming down the chimney. White man doing this, doing that. After you done took care of your kids the whole year. You done provided for him. You done did this, you done did that. After you done provided, you done did this, you done did that. Now you telling them that You giving credit to this so-called white man. You live in the projects. What chimney is this white man coming down? A lot of people don't even have chimneys on their houses, but you want to sit and say that the white man is coming down this chimney. You want to sit and say that Santa Claus is coming down this chimney. You're leaving out milk and cookies. You're leaving a note, this and that and the third. And the crazy thing too, you don't went and set your kids on this man, on a white man lap. On a white man lap. You have to give credit to a person that you will probably won't even see next year because they'll probably have another Santa Claus in that spot. You won't tell your kids the truth. And here it is. Santa is a white man. And we know that the white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of. So why would you give credit to somebody that don't help you with nothing? Ain't help you buy no sneakers. He ain't help you with the light bill. He ain't help you with the rent. He ain't help you with your car note, car insurance. Help you with nothing. But you done worked all year, and now you're going to give credit to a white person. If that ain't being a slave, yo, you was a super slave. You still stuck in slavery. Not only do you not celebrate these man-made holidays, you celebrate these man-made holidays when they tell you to celebrate them and how to celebrate it. If that ain't being a slave, yo, that's being a slave. You still stuck in a slave mentality. You was not paying attention to what's going on around you. I don't know how you can sit and see your people's in oppression. I don't see how you can sit and see that God's chosen people is being unalive. God's chosen people is still being raped. God's chosen people, especially women, God's chosen people are being sentenced at an all-time high in the penitentiary, not being freed, not being released. And you want to sit and partake in these holidays, and you don't even know nothing about the holidays. You ain't did no research. You haven't done nothing. But you want to sit and partake in it. Of course you're being oppressed. All God's chosen people are being oppressed. But still yet, that don't make you go and want to partake in these man-made holidays thinking that these people is going to take their foot off your neck. They are not. They are not. You have to help these people for so many years as long as you can been able to help them. And you won't even help your Issachar brothers and sisters. You still want to celebrate Christmas knowing that you're seeing that these Issachar brothers and sisters are being deported at an all-time high. At an all-time high. And the money that these people, the money that the so-called white man is getting from these holidays, he is giving to these ICE agents. And it's crazy. We won't come together for nothing. Only time we come together is when we want to be keep slavery going on through these man-made holidays. Through these man-made holidays. But you know what? The Most High gonna cause you to come up out of this. You don't want to listen to the ISUPK and the Commander Junior Hunter. You don't want to take heed to the priests and prophets that is telling you the things that God has sent us to tell you. You want to take it upon yourself and think that you're going to keep doing and following behind these people. When these people, listen, they don't even give you no breaks. You can't even go in the store. They'll tell you that 'tis the season to be jolly. You can't even go in the store and get a free Christmas tree. You can't get a free ham, turkey, none of that. If 'tis the season to be jolly, why they don't be giving stuff away? Why you haven't got nothing free out of Walmart yet? Why you ain't got nothing free out of Kroger's? Why you haven't got nothing free out of your local grocery store that's close to you? You don't get nothing free this time of the year. Nothing. But you steady got to dig in your pocket. But they'll tell you 'tis the season to be jolly. Pay attention to what's going on around you. God's chosen people are being oppressed. You want to sit and think that you ducking behind closed doors, thinking that you're going to be exempt. You are God's chosen people, so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians. For those of you that are not in the ISUPK and the Commanding General Yohana, you are still being oppressed. These people is not going to accept you. I don't care how many Christmas dances you go to. I don't care how much eggnog you drink. I don't care how much you tell your manager, your boss, or whatever you call him. I don't care how much you suck up to him. Still looks at you as a nigga. Stop partaking in the things that is going on of these people. Leave these people alone. These people don't care nothing about you. The only thing you can do is just keep their empire afloat, and their empire is coming to an end. World War III is right around the corner. You should not be worrying about no goddamn Christmas, Salaki. You should be worrying about what you got in store, where you gonna go, what you gonna do when World War III comes and looks at you. Do you even know? Do you even know? But you so focused on sitting up on the drinking some eggnog. What type of sweat I'm gonna put on tomorrow. These holidays is not for you, so-called Black, Hispanic, Native Americans. Holidays is not for you. Never been, never will be. It's all right. Come back and serve the nigga God. Come back and serve your God. Leave these heathen nations alone. It's all right. Leave them alone. You should feel about them how they feel about you. They never accepted you and they never will. Leave them alone. Hey, to all my brothers and sisters that chime into the class, the water, thank you. Powerful, powerful breakdown tomorrow. Powerful scripture class tomorrow. Lord willing, we'll do it again, 7 and 9. And I thank all of y'all. And with that, this is the ISUPK and the Commanding General Yohana. Started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York in 1969. This is the ISUPK Wednesday night law class, Nashville. Wednesday night law class, Salaki. And I am priest and officers of Bak Yasharala. I'm going to give a courtesy salute to my brothers, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shabarakat. To my sisters, Yahweh Shamor Alatham, Hashem Yahweh Shah. Hey, class dismissed. Stay up, Israel.